Hello everybody, welcome to this week's Star Watch segment for Wednesday, November 17th, Mercury Day. Super excited to be here with you guys. If you're new to my channel, my name is Jane. Welcome. We're super happy to have you here. We're going to talk about the upcoming astrology for the week. It is a big week because we have an eclipse at play, plus the sun is moving into Sagittarius. So let's go ahead and get right into this. Let me just adjust my camera. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're starting this November 17th, which is today. Now, if you don't know or understand how I've set this chart up, I'm not going to repeat myself for a third time. You can watch the previous two videos. The first few minutes, I'll talk about how this wheel is set up so you can get a better understanding. But let's just go ahead and dive right in here. So yes, we are building up to an eclipse, which is happening in the next day and a half or so, couple of days. Here's the moon in her exaltation in Taurus. Now, she is coming into a conjunction with Uranus here and an opposition with Mars. Now, Uranus and Mars are very different from the moon. So today, honestly, there's a lot of detachment that's possible. Detachment is something that's actually really good for accomplishing things because it doesn't keep you emotionally attached to things, all right? This is not a time to be nostalgic or to say, well, this is the way it's always been done. It's not a time to be traditional, all right? This is a time to be radical and to radicalize your day-to-day operations, because I know that there are things that you are doing, the things you're putting forth, the ideas you're bringing to life. I know that these things are passion driven, and Mars brings passion. Let's be honest. Mars brings the heat. He brings the spice. He brings the uniqueness to things. And not only that, but the drive to actually do it. He's not in a lazy position here. He's in Mars ruled Scorpio. Okay, he's in his rulership, meaning he is like full on accomplish. And I mentioned this the past couple of weeks with the Neptunian deacon, which is like the Piscean quality of Scorpio. So we have a limitlessness here, which means Mars is saying, hey, we can do it all. We can have it all. We can accomplish it all. We can go all in on these things, and we can drive ourselves and we can push ourselves because it is possible. It is something that I can actually really have. It's something that I can actually really do. It's something that I want to do. And that's an even more important thing, is that, whether it's in your career, or whether it's within your investment strategy, or whether it's with dating or your relationship with your parents or whatever, he's here saying, we've got the guts now. We have the courage, we have the wherewithal, and we have with Pisces, it's kind of like a lack of filter. I don't know, people are just kind of in this space now where we're just going to lay it all out on the table. We're going to put it all out there. We're going to, expose it, because there is no point in trying to hide it. All right. This is where Scorpio is very mature. Okay. If we have a mature and an evolved Scorpio archetype, it's actually very transparent. Scorpio, when it's not evolved or when it is immature, can be very secretive. But on the mature side, Scorpio doesn't have anything to hide. So this is not a time to be, it's not to say to overshare or to be, emotionally slutty. It's not what we're trying to do here. We're just trying to keep things clear, to keep things honest, and to keep things transparent. Okay? So Moon here in a very detached relationship with Uranus, to not get too emotionally involved, too emotionally invested in projected outcomes. All right. This is very much about throw the cards up in the air and just see where they lay. You might as well give it your best shot. You might as well, try it, because if you don't at least try it, then you're going to probably put yourself in a state of regret, and you're probably going to put yourself in a state of feeling like you've held yourself back in some way, which can circulate some negative stuff, in certain ways that might not be the best. And remember, here we have Mercury in the very last portion of the Neptunian deacon. So when Mercury let me hold off on that because we're going to talk about Mercury through the moon decan in just a minute, because the sun is still in the moon decan. And during the full moon eclipse, actually, let's just do it. Okay, boom, there it is. Just a couple of hours before. So it's very, very early morning on the 19th in the United States anyway. Very early morning in the 19th when this eclipse is going to be happening. Now it's technically going to be at the 27th degree of Taurus, so just a couple hours before this. So, but here's the sun in the moon decan, so actually a lot of Cancerian energy, a lot of Cancerian themes. Now, one of the things about Cancer that I don't think we talk about enough is the ambitional or the ambition quality. Cancer, and I've actually just had a conversation with, I actually had a realization about this just this week. All of the people that I follow, especially the women, not necessarily the men, but the women, the female, divine feminine creators in multiple different industries that are like really killing it right now are the Cancers. People that are like taking their income from like, 100 grand to like $1 million within a year. They're really killing it right now. And the moon energy is feeling quite ambitious with this particular eclipse. It's feeling, because it's in Saturn, ruled decan. It's in Mars, Mars and Saturn. This is about pushing it. And the moon is offering the emotional security to really do it. Right? It's offering it's kind of like the inner cheerleader that's coming forward. It's that part of you that says like, yes, you can do it. You can do it. You're safe to do it. You can put yourself out there because you always have yourself to come back to. And I think the moon is also offering a little bit of a lack of caring, quote unquote, about what other people think, because you always have you. You have the people that are closest to you. You have your own cheerleaders that are external from you. You have the people that do keep you safe. And so even if you do put yourself out there and it doesn't work out the way you think it's going to work out, there's always that place to come back to. And this is an eclipse to remind you that if something that you're trying or that you're kind of exploring or you're pushing yourself a little bit into, whether it's a new career path or a new relationship. So if you're pushing yourself and trying to break through your own boundaries and trying to break through your traumas for the sake of having a better situation, if you're at least doing that, then that's your kind of barometer of saying like, yes, I'm doing what's best for me right now. And who knows how it's going to turn out? Who knows where this is going to lead? But this is about me pushing through my own limitations, and that's all it's about. And if it doesn't give me the desired results that I'm hoping for, that is okay, because I can always return back to where I'm safe. There is a lot of safety and a lot of themes of safety coming through. Okay. Remember, Mars is not necessarily a results-oriented planet in the way Saturn is. Mars is more mission-driven. He just wants to go on the mission. He wants to go on the adventure. He wants to go on the path. It's about the path. That's where he thrives. That's what he loves. And even if he does achieve something, he's just going to go straight on to the next thing. Saturnian energy can be a little bit more indulgent in the reward. Mars doesn't have the patience for that kind of indulgence. He likes to just like say, okay, what's next? What's my next mission? What's my next battle? What's my next, my next goal? And that's okay, to be married to the path, married to the adventure, married to the experience or to the experiment, because maybe a lot of you are experimenting with this Uranus. Now remember, Uranus over here at 12 degrees, even though he's retrograde right now, he's in the Mercury decan of Taurus, the Virgo decan. Okay, so we have Uranus with Mercury. This is highly experimental. There is going to be a lot of experimentation over the next couple of years as Uranus stays in this particular 10-degree set. Experiment with your life, guys. Experiment with your, I kind of get an earthquake quality here. Big earthquakes in your life, right? Because Taurus is very set, very strong. And when Uranus comes involved, oh man, he is going to shake things up. And if you can like really indulge in the shakeup, you are going to be miles ahead of people who are like hiding under their desks and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe the earth is shaking so much. I can't believe how much chaos. I can't believe, what's going on. And they're going to hide and they're going to be all cowardly. This is a year, 2022, this is a year where the cowards are going to be very separate from the brave. Okay? This is like your time to be brave, your time to shine. And the people who are brave are the people who are going to end up on top, whether that's spiritually, whether it's financially, whether it's romantically, right? Whatever it is for you. This is the time when the people who are afraid really, really lose out. Because when Uranus enters into Saturn, which is the last 10 degrees, right? When Uranus comes through here, there's that component of like, well, this is the time when the structures really, really are threatened. And if you don't embrace it now, then this is going to be an even bigger shock. So you might as well just take this mercurial energy and be very adaptable, very flexible, go up, go down, go left, go right. You might as well do that now. All right. And the fact that Uranus was so highly involved with this particular moon cycle, right? Because remember the new moon in Scorpio a couple weeks ago was directly opposite of Uranus. Remember that? So now we have, even though this is not technically conjunct, on this eclipse day, we still have Mars in opposition with Uranus. So Uranus is like really where it's at. And Uranus is an example of extraordinarily high levels of consciousness, which means it's all the way up here, sort of watching itself, watching its life, watching its soul, watching its human experience down here, doing all of the little things. And when you're all the way up here, then what happens down here is not necessarily super meaningful. Because if you are down here and you fall, it doesn't matter because you from all the way up here, your consciousness up here gets to say, okay, well, that's no problem. Just go here. Like there are no problems when you're up here. There are no issues. There are no failures when you're up here. This is the fun place because this is where you get to apparate your little avatar down here in kind of like a video game kind of way. This is what, what's so cool about being in that heightened state of consciousness more regularly, because you don't have to like ever feel like there's any wrong choices, because there aren't really. Okay, so let's think here, because we have this Mercury, not only now here it's in the moon decan, but it's coming into that trine with Neptune. So we're not escaping the Neptune energy this week, right? The Neptune and the limitlessness, when we have Uranus and Neptune qualities at play together, not to mention we still have the essence of Pluto, because Pluto is one of the rulers of Scorpio. We have Neptune in the Plutonic decan. So we've got Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. These are outer planet influences. And as much as the little inner planets are kind of dictating a lot of things, the outer planets are really setting the tone. We have the destruction quality of Pluto, tearing our lives apart, tearing apart the existing structure that wasn't working for us anymore. We have the Neptunian limitlessness and the optimism, the belief that whatever we want is possible, and the Uranian energized hyper electric quality to actually light that fire under our butts to actually do it. Okay. And then what's going to happen in the week, in the next couple of days, okay, I'm going to fast forward this clock for the 22nd, which is Monday. Boom, here's the sun coming into Sagittarius. This particular Sagittarius energy, I'm really excited about it because there's not a lot of, we do have the nodes still here. We've got the south node here, but that's at the very first degree. So like a first couple of days into Sag might be kind of strange because the south node kind of has this, this is my experience of the south node. It kind of feels empty. It kind of feels like a void. So whenever there's a prominent South Node transit, like a Sun conjunct South Node, it often feels tiring. It often feels kind of low energy. Now, you may have your own experience with your South Node. So this is a time to pay attention. Okay, well, how does the Sun conjunct South Node affect me? You get to write it down. You get to experience it for yourself to understand it. But once the Sun, it comes throughout December, end of November and throughout December, we don't really have a lot of like squaring going on, right? Because the squares or the 90-degree angles are kind of angles that bring tension. And that would be Virgo, that would be Pisces, that would be Gemini. The only planet that's really going to be affecting in a square or an oppositional kind of way, this would be oppositional, is Neptune. But I don't mind Neptune during Sagittarius, really, because I think they both have that openness there. So I don't even think that that's going to be very problematic. So what I'm sensing is that Sagittarius season has the potential to have a very free and clear quality to it. And we're going to kind of see that. I don't know that it will happen in the first days of Sag, but I think, Thursday, Friday of next week, we'll probably start feeling that opening up. And Sagittarius is right? We have to think of the symbology. We have a centaur, which is half man, half horse, a hunter with his bow and arrow. And that's kind of the nature of the symbol even here, right? We have the literal bow and arrow as the symbol of Sagittarius. This is about setting your targets and going in that direction. It's very simple. It's very clean cut. It's very in front of your face. Like, you're going to know what your targets are because you spent the majority of Scorpio season, kind of like asking yourself, what's really important to me here? What really matters is, do I need to focus on my money right now? Do I need to focus on my relationship? Do I need to focus on creating more peace in my life? Do I need to eliminate certain friends? Like, where was the part where you were like digging and tearing things apart? When you come into an acknowledgement of that, or when you admit that to yourself, Sagittarius is the season where you say, okay, this is it. This is where we need to go. This is the direction. And you just do it, because Jupiter is like, let's freaking go. Let's push. Let's not hold back. Jupiter does not hold back. He can be a little thunderous. I often think of that little eye of Jupiter, right? When we look at the planet and he's got that little circle, that big storm there. The eye of Jupiter, very stormy, like this gigantic hurricane. I kind of feel like that's the essence of what Jupiterian energy can be. It can feel very whirlwind. It can be a little stormy. So is it perfect? Absolutely not. But it is full of blessings and it is full of benefits. And sometimes things we don't necessarily see right away, or we don't understand how it's a blessing right away. But with Jupiter and the quality of faith, not to mention Mars is still under the influence of Neptune here. So faith is absolutely going to be what's going to carry you through. It's what is going to be, it's like, a plain plate of pasta, but when you take that yummy, super, whether it's a creamy sauce, whatever you like, or a tomatoey sauce, like a marinara, whatever, when you take the sauce, it's just like, it's what gives that plain, bland plate of pasta, like the real kick or the real like yumminess. It's what gives it that savory, indulgent type of quality, okay? That's what Jupiter is. It's the savory enjoyment. Oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so amazing. I love the way this feels. I love the passion that this is bringing into my life. I love this whole moment. It's an opportunity to enjoy the moment and to enjoy the path and to enjoy the adventure itself. And I think that Sagittarius season has the potential. Now, again, your own individual chart, depending on what you've got in there, might be a little bit different, but it has the potential to be so opening. And because you are open, you will start to see the receiving. Scorpio season can be very constricted, very contracted. It's all a lot of pressure during Scorpio. There's no pressure in Sag. It's all just like breathing. It's all fresh air. Yeah, kind of envision, right? Like the essence of Scorpio is like, we have the serpent, which is like the king of the earth, and we have the eagle, which is the king of the sky. So it's like the heaven and the earth, the duality coming together in a war. And they, the snake and the eagle, they entwine so tightly that they literally implode on one another. This is what happens during Scorpio. Your duality implodes. And then during Sagittarius, the essence of the archetype of Sagittarius, once you have risen from the ashes, rebirth, Scorpio, and then you get to fly. This is like a phoenix flying over the forest and getting to see the whole forest in a way that you've never seen it before, because you were always split. You always had these two parts of self going on, but this is a time of wholeness and to enjoy the wholeness. Okay, so that's why Jupiter and Sag, there's a lot of good luck that comes, because you're free in your mind. You're not held back by limiting thoughts and limiting beliefs. Sag is about no limits, right? You believe everything, anything, and it's not delusional. It's highly spiritual. And because Uranus is here, and a big part of this as well, like Uranus and Jupiter, it's just like gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger here. So the opportunity for spiritual and consciousness ascension is just absolutely huge. And the way that it is manifesting, though, is in the small way you live your life. It's kind of weird how that happens, but like, don't underestimate the power of the small things in your life. Okay. Coming back to Venus and her shadow. Now she's officially in the Venus decan. Okay. So Venus, so very Taurus, which is fitting since we have the eclipse in Taurus. She's getting bigger and bigger now. As of Monday of next week, you're going to start to feel this conjunction. So people who, one of two areas is most likely going to be the area: financial, Venus representing money, and Pluto. Okay, I'm sorry, that was stupid. Venus representing money, or Venus representing relationships. So if you're in a relationship, or you have any kind of one-on-one type of connection with someone, whether it's a business partnership or a friendship or a contractual agreement that you have with somebody, likely there will be some kind of a transformation, which is the essence of Pluto, some kind of transformation that is going to occur. And as the Venus, she's going very slow now, so she's going to be building and building and building to this Plutonic conjunction, and it's going to offer multiple opportunities, because remember, this conjunction is happening in the Mercurial, or the Mercury ruled decan of Capricorn. A lot of Mercury energy. We've got Uranus and Mercury. We have this conjunction happening in Mercury, and there's this essence. What else do we have? Well, the moon will be going through Mercury ruled Gemini, but that's, okay, so that's pretty much it, really. But the Mercury is offering solutions. It's fast turnarounds, fast solutions, fast answers, fast decisions for sure. So it's not about drawing everything out. It's about immediate decisions, immediate moments that have long-term impact. Saturn ruled Capricorn. Okay, long-term impact for the future of your life. We can think long-term in terms of like not just a year from now, but like 10 years from now, 20 years from now. When you start thinking about your life 20 years from now, and you start realizing that there is quite a bridge that needs to be built, you really do start taking your minuscule or seemingly small decisions quite seriously. And to understand that these decisions right now, let's talk about financials right now, okay? So if you have no savings and no investments at all and you're living paycheck to paycheck, and you're like, okay, 20 years from now, I don't want to be doing this, so I'm going to start investing now, right? Money is going to be a huge theme with the nodal transit through Uranus, through Taurus and Scorpio. So I'm going to be using money as an example for the next couple of years, okay? So we have no money, but I know I don't want to be this way forever, so I'm going to start putting a little bit in my investment account. The impact of that, as we know with, compound interest and all the theories that go along with investing, That is the impactful long-term decision that could ultimately change the entire trajectory of your life. $100 a month, $50 a month, right? Over time, 20 years, that builds up to be a lot. Okay, so don't take it lightly. It's not really as small as you think it is. It may seem that way because it's so simple. Mercury is so simple, so direct, so easy, but it's beautiful. So now is the time to really, really go deep and to do those things. Saturn is in the Uranus ruled decan as well. And this particular decan, really complementing Uranus in an earth sign here. There's just this real nature of radicalization. Okay. Now, I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about, except I do want to prepare you for what's coming up in December. Not only the Venus retrograde, but the Kalasarpa yoga. I'm going to fast forward this clock quite a bit because I just want to show you guys what this is visually. So I'm going to go forward to December 16th, which is still a few weeks away. So I'm not trying to project too far. I know this is a week-to-week reading, but I think we need to look ahead in order to understand where this is really going. We're moving into a Kalasarpa yoga again, which is what happened. I think it was 2 different times through 2020 we had this Kalasarpa yoga. This particular yoga has to do with all the planets, every single planet. Even though the moon moves really, really fast, we don't really count the moon with the Kalasarpa yoga. But even here on this particular day, all the planets are on one half of the wheel. And that's just the divided line is with the nodes, north node, south node. See how they're all on one side? This is a very powerful, heavy weighted astrological situation. Now, there might be some really weird things that happen globally, economically, politically, whatever it is. We saw how out of balance the world was in 2020, moving into 2022. This is why in the beginning of the year with all my readings, I talked so heavily about utilizing 2021 to make the change and allowing 2022 to be the year where you find adjustment in your life. Now, not everyone did that, and that's okay. You still have Saturn through Aquarius all next year. So if there have been things that you've been wanting in your life, I don't think putting it off is a good idea. It's not a good idea. Embrace the things that you feel that you want in your life. Embrace the change. Embrace the qualities. Jump. All right? Because otherwise you're going to get tossed in. You're going to get thrown into a situation and you are going to feel so out of control. When you have consciousness and you make decisions in consciousness, you make conscious choices, conscious decisions, and you consciously decide to hold the consequences on your shoulders, when you take that responsibility, when you hold yourself accountable, there is so much freedom. Okay? A lot of people are going to get tossed into situations and they are going to be super unhappy. This is going to be for quite a while. This Kalasarpa yoga does not break until April 23rd of 2022 when Mercury comes through. And then it's going to officially really heavily break on May 12th, 13, when the sun comes over in Gemini season. That's a long time to have all of this weight, all of this heavy planetary activity on one side of the wheel. All right. So I recommend, now not everyone has huge changes that they want to make, and that's totally fine. But if you do have a big change you want to make that seems really scary, I promise you it is not as scary as it is standing still. Standing still is the beast of the situation, okay? Change is not. You are more safe with change than you were the other way. Now, please don't take this as saying, okay, well, I quit your job without any money to the point where next month you may lose your house. Obviously, that's not what I'm saying. But to get yourself ready, to get yourself situated, to get yourself in a position where that jump can be done, Please, please, please really think about that in your life, because there will be times when I'll say, you know what, now is not a time to make decisions. Now is not a time to do anything huge, relax, surrender, receive. There will come a time for that, but right now is not that time. All right, this is a time where you have to understand your role in the dance with the universe that you have. Because if you don't understand your role in the dance, that means that you are never really in that position of free will, and you are always going to be in that state of reaction. You are not truly creating your life in the way that we're meant to learn how to create. So you get to step into that power seat this month. You get to step into that, that commander position, and you get to start really commanding your life in a way that makes you happy. That's what this is all about, by the way. It's all about happiness. Okay, enough babbling. I've been talking for quite a while, so I'm going to leave you guys there. A big week, big things to think about, super exciting stuff, hopefully for a lot of you, and I'm going to leave you guys with that. All right, have a great week. Talk to you soon.